Well, welcome back, guys, to the Idiots of the Square Table podcast. This week it's me, Sasha, and Ben and Steven back at you again.
What's up?
Yeah. I was gonna introduce us, but I kind of forgot what we were called again. So, I guess I really.
I don't think that really matters.
That's why we're titled what our title is.
You forget we're stupid.
Dumbasses of the idiot table.
Explicit version. Yeah.
I was gonna
All
say
right.
something else, but then I realized my parents listen, and then
Well, how have you guys been since last time we checked in with each other?
well, considering that I live 3 feet away from you,
Well, you're gone all the time, so...
that's true. I've been fine. It's final season, so I've been studying for that. Steven, I assume you are too?
Yeah, I have one more final left. All my classes are
One
going
day.
kind of well, but
I got 97 on my final yesterday.
nice.
I worked yesterday. Wednesday.
Time means nothing anymore.
There's only today, yesterday, and tomorrow.
Indeed.
Yeah, the only thing preventing me from getting a good grade is if I mess up the exam really bad. So my only goal is to get a decent grade. This should be my goal already, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel really bad because it's online classes, so I should be doing decent
Yeah.
on everything. And then it's the final exam comes up and it's oh, well, I only need an 80 to pass.
Yeah.
Or I can try really hard on the final and try to get my grade up.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's do I really, really want to put in all this time?
Well,
Sometimes
C's
I
get
prevent
degrees.
myself from looking up what my grade could be.
Oh,
Just
I
so
do
I
that
can,
all the time.
Force myself to push myself, to study
I
harder.
emailed my professor. I was like, all right, I want a rundown, how Idris Elba's character wanted Jim to give him a rundown. I wanted a rundown of all my grades in this class because he doesn't put anything on Blackboard, which I don't like when professors do that because inevitably at the end of the semester I want to calculate my grade. So I
Yeah.
can be like, oh, my next test on Monday, I only need to get a 29 on this to pass? Why am I going to waste my entire weekend studying for this when I can get a 29? I can write my name on the top of the paper. I'm pretty sure that's 12 points right there.
Maybe in elementary school, but
No.
I don't think.
No,
It's also
deadass.
online,
Yeah.
so you can't really write your name on
Yeah.
the top of an online exam.
When I had on-campus courses, not online, yeah, exact opposite. On-campus courses, exams would always give me an extra 10 to 20 points for writing my name down. You could tell the teacher just let's see if they're even listening.
Yeah. It's
Oh my gosh.
oh, they tried 20 points extra.
Yeah.
Now it's all right, guys, I know you're gonna cheat, so don't
Yeah.
cheat.
Yeah.
So I'll make the questions extra hard because the interweb is right here. But don't cheat, because I'll do lockdown browser, and I'll know if you click to a different tab.
Isn't that funny, though? They know they have that option for the lockdown browser, but
And then they
never
don't
use
do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how
Because
I
they're
do it.
old. They don't really understand how it works.
Well, with me, my PC doesn't have a webcam. So it's I'm sorry, Professor, I don't have a webcam. You can't monitor me all the whole time.
Yeah. I covered my
You're not going to
bases.
force me to buy a $100 webcam.
Yeah, so I just use my laptop there to appease him.
Chelsea, you were telling me before the podcast you went outside today. How was that?
I know, it was an incredible journey. I finally made it out there. No, it's 83 right now. 84.
It was really humid this morning.
Yeah,
It's still pretty humid, at least in this apartment.
but there's not a lot of clouds. Well, there should be some clouds. It was predicted to have a slight thunderstorm, but that passed already, and it did not storm. But other than that, I played Frisbee outside, and honestly, I just
That's
stood there
nice.
soaking up the sun. It was just really nice.
Yeah, everyone was out today. My girlfriend and I always take her dog to this field, just play with him, and everyone was out there on the field doing activities, not frisbee, trying to train for football season, which isn't gonna happen because that's just stupid. Why would high school football come back in September. Like,
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen. So they're out there training. I guess get better every day. Woo!
My mom was telling
But-
me that she heard that like high school seniors won't like some colleges won't be recruiting because they won't have enough footage or scouting.
Yeah.
Full
And
report.
I think a lot of people are gonna take gap years too, because what's the point of going to school if the first thing you're gonna be introduced to is online classes? Like, is Introduction to College 100 gonna be, alright, so logging onto the internet this is how you use a browser.
Yeah, basically. You know, it's funny. My mom's actually taking. She started online courses. I guess this whole thing like inspired her. And
really?
yeah, so she just had an orientation yesterday that she was writing down notes for.
Yeah, I just love the irony that, like, we now have to learn via online classes by people that don't know how to use Facebook. Like,
Yeah.
you know, all of our professors' profile picture is them looking down at their phone with that double chin. Like, beautiful lighting, you know? And by beautiful,
Yeah.
I mean they're, like, in their bathroom. Or they're probably on the toilet and, like, just take that selfie. Oh, I look good in this light.
You hear that? Where it's like a landscape photo, so like
Oh man.
they don't have to take a photo.
Yeah. Or it's, like, a flower. Or a horse. That's...
Or a stupid ass quote.
It's like a good photo, but they zoom it in too much, so the pixels are like ginormous.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I'm doing well.
Yeah.
Outside's nice.
That's good to hear. Yeah, coronavirus has changed a lot of people's lives and a lot more people going outside, so that's one good thing. Well,
You know
another
what?
good thing that came out of it is conspiracy theories. We got some good conspiracy theories coming out from this about everything coronavirus, so I'm going to tell you guys some of my favorite ones. So, to
Okay.
begin with, did you know that eating garlic can prevent getting coronavirus?
Yeah, I've been
Like,
eating this whole time. What have you been
whoa.
doing?
It's like they're acting like it's like a vampire or something, but I don't think
so
that's quite how that works.
there's some major flaws in that logic. First of all, until the U.S. became number one at winning, Italy was number one. And have you ever heard of an Italian dish that doesn't have garlic in it?
Yeah, it's true.
That's true. Even our ice cream. Garlic ice cream.
Yeah, it's garlic gelato. You get the alliteration there. Sells like a fly.
I put garlic in my rice, like in my rice cooker.
Also,
Yeah.
why would a fly sell well? That's stupid. Again, idiots of the misshapen table.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, yeah. Like, who comes up with that? Like,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
came up with that?
What's the
I
story?
really don't know.
Like-
It doesn't really say where it came from.
Was someone like watching a Dracula and
It
was
just
like,
says a misguided theory that led to a Chinese woman being hospitalized with an inflamed throat. Okay, so it's the same people who chose to eat a raw bat tried to fix it by eating a ton of garlic and put themselves in the hospital yet again because of that.
Honestly,
I mean,
you know,
I
the
think
bad in
what
the
we
first
should
place.
take away from this is we should not eat bats.
Mhm.
And if we're gonna say that, we should just not eat meat in general. I'm just kidding. Well, I'm not kidding, but no one wants to hear me.
I saw
Shut the fuck
a
up,
video on
vegetarian.
Twitter that was like this woman, she like cooked a turtle like alive, and so then she ate
Oh
it
my
in a
God.
soup,
Why?
and like the
No.
caption read like this is why y'all gotta stop eating this stuff, bro. It's like it was like I guess like I would eat turtle if it was like cooked and chopped up or whatever, but this lady was like Gollum, bro. Like she just went at it. You know what I'm saying? And I was like,
Well,
that's
did they
that's
add
not-
garlic to it?
You know,
Because
I
that
don't
makes
know.
the difference.
I guess there
if
could be
they
garlic
just-
in the soup.
If they just added garlic to that bat soup, then none of this would have happened. I think
Yo,
that's
everyone would still be alive,
Yeah.
including the vampires.
including Robin Williams.
Yeah. Don't tell him.
And,
Garlic is actually a time travel device, guys.
and the guy Dick Cheney shot.
Who did he shoot?
Deanna knew. Some hunting person of his. Some hunting buddy. I don't know. I get off topic because I'm a 12-year-old. So,
interesting theory, though.
Yeah. Alright, I got another one for you guys. So this one I haven't really found the source for. I've just seen it pop up a lot. So the people behind like Disney Plus and like Netflix and Hulu and all that, they actually hired scientists to create COVID-19 to force people indoors so that they'd have to sign up for their services.
Okay, so
go for it.
I just like cringe when I get weird like scientists have created this virus. I just hate. I had a coworker send me a video the other day of. I'm assuming you're gonna talk about how Bill Gates funded it later in this conspiracy.
Spoilers.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just assuming what you're gonna talk about. But she sent me that, and I just think that people don't understand the scientific method. They don't understand that scientists, for better or for worse, don't go out there to create viruses. Like, you ask a question and then you do your experiment. And then you get your results. You don't say, let's create a virus to make money. I just think a lot of people have disconnect with science, and that's where a lot of these conspiracy theories come from. That's going to answer probably for the further question or conspiracies you have. But this is my opinion, that people don't actually really understand the scientific process, the methods that we use that actually yields results.
Yeah,
that's where we have this disconnect.
I would think looking at it kind of from that angle, but from the other side would be like it wouldn't be for money, right? So like we all know that there may be that there are variations of the virus, right? And that some of them could be artificial, but money was definitely not the incentive, right? So we can talk about how like shutting down the borders, or rather letting it go across the borders so that everybody would be on the same economic level, could be a suable offense. But like for money, it does seem pretty crazy. Like I've heard theories like that all the time, right? They cause one disaster to get the money for it, or someone releases bad press, or the scandal gets blown up and they try to get in front of it, and it actually creates revenue for companies. But like, I definitely think that they're using it for revenue. You know, they didn't create it, but like I feel like Netflix and Hulu and like all these streaming services, they know that they're making bank now because they have all these viewers.
But so Netflix and Hulu might, but streaming is just a fraction of what Disney does. Mm-hmm. Disney also does theme parks, movies. All that doesn't come out on streaming services unless you listen to our podcast last time where Russell's going to do that. Mm-hmm. But if you just like look at the stock market and all that, like Disney tanked.
Yeah.
So like why?
Netflix's
like
stock actually costs more than Disney.
Yeah, and Netflix actually's done well. Hulu's done well.
Hulu's also owned by Disney. So.
That's true.
Roku has done fantastic. And then like Zoom and all that other stuff that's like been communication. Stuff has kind of gone. But also Cinemark, AMC, all your theaters are down tremendously. Mm-hmm. I sound like Trump using the word tremendous. But in reality, it's like, why would you do that if you're just losing massive what was I going to say?
Yeah, it's a big disadvantage.
Profits.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense as conspiracy theory. It's like most other conspiracy theories. It just falls apart when you actually start thinking about it.
I would actually believe the garlic one over this one. I think that's what we should do.
Like the garlic one?
We should compare conspiracy theories, which one we would believe in more.
Well, okay. Well, I have another one like the garlic one if you want to hear it.
Go for it.
Yeah, so it's drinking cow urine also protects against COVID-19.
Ben, you got this one.
Well, coming from a idle place I like to call Bumfuck, Virginia.
So you know a lot about cow urine?
Yeah, it's part of my breakfast routine.
Oh, okay.
That's good to know.
Don't drink the. It's called apple juice, but I have quotes around it in the fridge. Don't drink that.
Oh man. So that's what you put in the Lucky Charms every morning.
Yeah, it's proprietary. But no, that's whoever came up with that should be on this podcast. Idiot of the. I guess, do we have to add a side for every guest we have?
Well, I guess if it's square, we can have a guest
No.
side, right?
Yeah, but that's the fourth wall. So
Oh,
then
I
it would
guess
need
so.
to be like the pentagram table.
No, we're doing fourth wall.
So no one actually
Um,
created this theory. It just kind of happened
Weird.
because in India, 200 people came together to drink cow urine whilst posing next to a caricature of
This is
coronavirus.
India? Alright, I have some stuff
Yeah.
to say then, okay? Listen, bro.
Just keep in mind, I'm half Indian.
That's true. But that country, bro, that virus is spreading like crazy, man. So,
Yeah, Indians aren't really the smartest about social distancing.
did you see is it Ganges that runs through India? Whatever the huge
I don't
river
know.
in India is, that's like a holy sacred ground that everyone bathes in. They bathe their cattle in, and
Well, yeah, cattle is considered sacred in Hinduism,
yeah, but they
which probably is why they thought the urine would protect them.
literally
maybe, yeah.
use this river for everything, and it's clear. Everything is better, environmentally speaking, health wise now. But we have access to scientific equipment. We can test both garlic and cow urine, and we can give you the definitive Royal Animal Productions answer if garlic and cow urine can protect you from the coronavirus.
I think garlic is still
Donate
winning.
to the Royal Animals podcast. What's it called? The little fundraising one, Kickstarter.
Yeah, we also have a
Yeah.
subreddit, so just give us your information there, and we'll
We would love to have your social security numbers.
Yes.
yeah,
That
your
would help a
mother's
lot.
maiden name and your favorite color.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, the elementary school you attended when you were a child.
And the name of your first pet.
We're not liable
What
for anything.
color? Yeah. No, that's. I think you said it best, Sasha. Actually, cows are sacred in India, so
I didn't think about
that
that,
would
yeah.
make sense. Or not in India, but in the Hindu culture, would actually kind of explain a lot. Religion is very much a part of the cure for coronavirus. I'm doing fake air quotes, but no one can see me. But
We'll animate it somehow.
but
Look at the thumbnail.
who's the stupid pastor? Kenneth Copeland and his blowing on coronavirus with God's wind.
Oh my god.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What is this?
Oh, it's
Okay,
it's one of
Gus
those
Johnson
churches, yeah.
did something on it too. But there's this multi-millionaire televangelist pastor that was like, coronavirus, I blow the winds of God on you.
Is that the pastor with his own private jet?
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
used, the funds from the church for or whatever.
Yeah, because he's too heavenly to sit with us plebeians.
It's actually kind of entertaining if you ever watch one of those.
Oh no, I love
super
laughing
entertaining,
at it.
bro.
He's honestly a Bond villain. It's fantastic. But
I have more to say on that.
it's
Cool.
it's just a sacred thing. So I can see it. You want to turn to religion, so you can turn to religion. I don't care. Do whatever you want. Just don't force me into it, because I have my own opinions. But I'm not gonna let my opinions get in the way of yours.
Yeah, garlic is 2-0.
So you said an environment is really a lot better right now, Ben?
Yeah.
So what if I told you Greta Thunberg or Thunberg or whatever? I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Who really cares?
Thunberg.
Caused COVID-19 to
Is
help
that
with
literally
climate
one?
change. Yep, that's literally one of them. People think she somehow invented the coronavirus to help with the environment.
I'm gonna go up to the floor above us and jump off right now.
He's gonna break his leg, not kill himself. It's not that high of a fall, guys.
She's 17.
I think
I thought
she's
she was like
younger.
12.
She's like 13.
No, she looks 12, but she's actually 17.
Have you looked this up? Or
I just looked up the Wikipedia. I
What?
recognize her voice and I've heard her in a couple of things, but I wasn't sure who she was, so I looked her up real quick.
Yo,
Swedish
the first
environmental
result when you
activist.
type in Greta Thunberg is
Born in
Greta Thunberg
2003.
coronavirus.
She honestly looks like a 9-year-old, but
Yeah, she does.
Why?
Oh my god.
Why
listen,
would a
she's doing way more than
17-year-old
me, so like I'm not about to say anything.
Why would a 17-year-old who's obsessed with impacting the environment be the person that does that? Like, blame PETA. Like, PETA is trash.
They're trying to get rid of our Pokemans.
Trying to
You
protect those
can't,
bats?
like, literally, if you want an environmental scapegoat, PETA is your option. Always go for
Those are
PETA.
some pretty extreme people over there at PETA.
Yeah, I know.
They worry me at night
But-
sometimes.
But what clout does a 17-year-old... Actually, she has a lot now because of whatever she said. But that's stupid. It's just so... I'm legitimately gonna go jump off the top of the fucking building now.
Alright, well, these coronavirus conspiracy theories are actually pretty entertaining. They're incredibly stupid, but entertaining. So let's get into...
I thought of something better though.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna drink some beer.
Okay, cool. So let's actually get into some other conspiracy theories not connected to coronavirus that I find perplexing but entertaining. Have you guys heard of the Avril Lavigne died and was replaced theory?
Yes.
Who was replaced?
Avril Lavigne?
Oh,
Lavigne, yeah.
no, I have
Yes. I've heard that one.
not. Oh, it's
It's
because she looks
Do you want to
fantastic.
talk about it, Ben? Explain it a little to Steven?
Go for it.
You know who Avril Lavigne is, right?
Yeah, early 2000s.
Yeah, that's all.
That's
she's
how
known
you
for, is
define
early
early
2000s.
2000s as Avril Lavigne.
Not Britney Spears or anything.
It was Sum 41, who she actually married the lead singer.
Did she?
Anyway, yeah. Was it? It was right around like she took like a hiatus, and
So the theory goes all the way back to 2005.
yeah. So like around that time, she hadn't really released anything, and they like when she came back, there was something different about her, which usually occurs, you know, when you step away from the scene for a while.
Yeah.
Like you might have a beard, you might, if you're a guy, when you come back from coronavirus, you're gonna have long hair. Everyone is, because we can't get haircuts. She stepped away from the scene, probably stopped doing drugs, and looked different. So
Yeah, so
everyone's
people
like,
Thought
that's
that she
double.
was replaced by a doppelganger that was hired by the record company. And it goes back further, like, people think that she used it before she died, or whatever,
Yeah.
thinking, like, the fame was getting to her, so they used, like, a doppelganger for public events. But then she eventually died or whatever, and the record company just hired her on full time.
And it goes so far that people, kind of like the Paul McCartney one, that
Oh,
people,
yeah.
people have gone in to her songs and analyzed her pitch in the lyrics, in her singing, to be like, okay, this is not the same note. Like, it's the same note, but it's a different voice. So it's a doppelganger.
Dang.
Yeah. I mean, there are some subtle, like, differences in, like, the appearance of, like, the two photos when you look it up. But, like, that just happens naturally with age. And also when you're, like, doing drugs and shit, which I think she was doing. I haven't really looked into that, but I'm pretty sure most celebrities have dabbled in it.
Yeah, I also think that,
I just looked up
she-
Google images of her throughout the years.
I think that you would probably, Steven, be way more familiar with this if you actually cared about Avril Lavigne. And
What?
like Paul,
But no,
like
no
Paul
one
McCartney,
cares about her, though.
Paul McCartney, that's huge. That's a Beatle member. But
Yeah.
Avril Lavigne, okay,
She's
Skater
all the
Boy.
same complicated, right?
I think so. Right?
So
Yeah,
complicated.
believe so.
I don't know. I've never
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
listened to any of her
you're right.
songs.
But
Yeah,
like,
that one.
Stop, we'll get demonetized.
Oh,
We're
you're
not
right. No, I was
monetizing
below
this.
7 seconds.
Avril Lavigne is not a Beatle. And
damn, you're right.
wow, how can I say something so brave yet so controversial?
I know.
But no, she is well known. Don't get me wrong. Everyone that grew up in our generation is familiar with her for the most part. But she's not like extremely famous. Probably if you asked people, like asked some boomers who she was, they probably wouldn't know who she is. So I think it's not like a very popular conspiracy theory. Not as in it's not a good one. It's just the audience that actually gives a damn about it is about 10 people. So
yeah.
So what other conspiracy theories you are? Because
I've
been watching this show.
I'm gonna take garlic over this one, so I can't tell.
Garlic's the best.
Yeah, I think that's the most plausible.
I also like cow urine though.
Really?
Because cow urine's great. You're taking sacred piss. Like,
I mean,
I wish I could
every morning. So
who's that
I
survivor
don't drink
guy?
it. Bear Grylls.
Oh, I'm sorry. You eat it. Gotta drink my own piss. Yeah. So another one that I actually really like, going off of the Avril Lavigne one, is lizard people have like infiltrated society. They're like wearing people suits. They're in positions of power, like the presidency, Congress, our local mayorship.
So this is kind of like what are those movies called? When the Body Snatchers, is that this type of deal?
Oh, kinda. The theory says that they're wearing people's suits. It doesn't really say they're possessing people or anything or stealing bodies. It's just a costume or something that looks like a person.
I'll tell you some people that look like lizards. I don't know.
The Lizard King?
I was gonna say the lizard from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The most famous of the lizard people.
Pretty sure there's some Doctor Who villains that are lizards too. Not villains, but
I'm sticking with garlic, but like I don't know. Where does this theory come from? This seems almost like so random.
It comes from this like widely known conspiracy theorist called David Icke. Yeah, but like there's a lot of criticism saying his conspiracies are code for anti-Semitism and Holocaust denial.
Holy crap.
That's a big oof.
Yeah. Yikes. Yeah. Garlic is 3-0.
Wait, so are like lizards Nazis? Like, how is it code?
Something like that. I don't know. That's just what the article and the Wikipedia page said.
Or maybe he's talking about...
All right. Let me see.
Are they comparing like the Jewish people to lizards?
Yeah,
no, I don't know because it's people in power.
Yeah, so I think it would be Nazis.
Just Jewish people.
So I think they're saying that there's Nazis that survived that have now taken back power and are in power, and they're hiding among us.
That's a whole different conspiracy theory.
Yeah, but what's the difference between a Nazi and a lizard? They're both cold-blooded killers.
Hey, you got me there.
It seems like a B movie. That's what it seems like.
Seems like some...
Go ahead.
It was going to be a stupid joke. I was going to say it seems like some B content to fucking include this.
Yeah, it just feels like something you see on the sci-fi channel.
We're going to put that in the outlier category.
Yeah. Alright, well, I think that's enough of conspiracies for one day. They're all pretty shitty anyway, so let's move on to something different.
Yeah, well, I think the perfect segue into this next content would be there's a show called Conspiracies, and they have a bunch of conspiracies on there. Starts off with like the royal family, like one of the princes. No, but he was a Nazi. Apparently.
I like historical conspiracies really well. Yeah, I like.
And then there's like, did we fake the moon landing?
That one's definitely not true.
I don't know. I mean, the Earth is
flat. It would cost more money to fake the moon landing than to actually go to the moon, just because of the lack of gravity and everything. lack of wind and
Sir.
sound.
Sir, get out of here with your facts and logic. It was conspiracy time. But now, that show also it's like a dope show. I like it. You get to learn about conspiracies. But all my favorite shows seem to be like keep getting canceled. And it's just stupid. So it's probably going to get canceled, which brings us really, really badly segued into our next topic, which is Netflix sucks.
Alright, tell me about this.
Well,
You go ahead, Ben.
what has been some of your favorite shows on Netflix? I can tell you, my go-to show is The Office. Stranger Things is good, and Daybreak is one of our favorite shows. Sasha's and my favorite shows.
Yeah, Daybreak is amazing. I'd say for me, it's like Daybreak, Daredevil, Luke Cage, Stranger
Lock and
Things.
Key was good too.
Office, Community. Those are like some great shows that are on Netflix.
Steven, do you have any favorite shows?
Let me look up on Netflix right now. I mean, I was watching Community, and then The Office. Oh, well, I was watching Middle Edition Swartz, but that's a comedy special. I do like the comedy specials on Netflix because they're one time.
Oh yeah, those are actually really good.
And if they're Netflix originals, they'll stay. I was watching Community. Big fan of Cheers, actually.
It's a classic.
I did watch The Office through Netflix, all the way through. New Girl, Parks and Rec, Arrested Development. Arrested Development, they actually put money into. I was very surprised.
Yeah.
Because they had a weird production. People tell me Ozark's good. I haven't started it.
Ozark's pretty cool. I haven't finished it, but it's good.
Well, to get back to on point, I guess, is that a good bit of like the Netflix original shows
and other shows that started, like Psych started on Netflix.
Well, I was about to get into that kind of point.
Okay,
but yeah, so like the Netflix original shows are like canceled before the third season, and a lot of the other shows that they like get like licensing from and whatnot on their streaming service, they're taken away because all the other streaming services that are coming up are owned by the companies that actually own those IPs. And they want those for their streaming services, which takes them away from Netflix, and then Netflix has to resort to their original content.
Yeah.
But their original content, they don't... Yeah, they keep canceling it because they just don't care. They don't see a point in continuing past, 1 to 2 seasons.
And
or they just don't market it whatsoever.
And it really is a shame because there are some great shows on Netflix, and the business model Netflix adopted coming into the internet age was absolutely fantastic, and that's why you're seeing these studios come out with their own streaming services. But that takes everything away from Netflix, and it just leads to a streaming service that is full of half-finished shows that you don't see through to the end. You see through the second season, first, second, third season, and you're like, oh, well, I guess they wrapped up a storyline, but that's not the whole storyline that they were teasing throughout the entire show.
Yeah, it's like one of our favorite shows on Netflix, Daybreak. It ended on a cliffhanger, and everyone I told to watch it, they freaking loved it, but it wasn't renewed for a second season. For some reason. And probably because of the way that Netflix does their shows now, they don't really see a point in continuing shows past that first season.
And a quick, plug for that show. It's post-apocalyptic, and we're living in a post-apocalyptic world, kind of. Actually, everything's going to be opened back up by the time this gets released. And then it's going to get worse, and then... But yeah, it's a great show. And just nothing I would like to see more other than the continuation of The Witcher and Stranger Things, which Stranger Things is going to keep continuing because it's literally a culture phenomenon. And Witcher.
It's going to end within the next 2 seasons. Though.
Yeah, Stranger Things is going to end soon. Witcher, I hope goes on. It's
got me worried for a lot of the shows that I like on Netflix. This kind of business model they use. Like, The Witcher is based off of a book series that's 5 books, and they haven't even gotten really into the first book yet. That first season is just kind of like backstories of this epic saga. They're not going to continue past season 3, I don't think. And
it's a shame too, because the video games were based off of the books, and this show's kind of based more off the books than the video games.
Yeah,
but you're literally
literally an adaptation of the books.
You literally have a book. You have book culture and video game culture binding together to watch a show, and you rarely actually see a good video game adaptation and a good book adaptation. And Witcher really does a great job at it. I was listening to the audiobook. This podcast is sponsored by Audible. Just kidding.
Don't to us.
It's like they ripped one of the episodes pretty much verbatim from the book, and I was very pleased to see that. Like, it's very hard for me to find a book I like that has been done justice to on the screen, and that show did a great job. And then it also makes me want to play The Witcher. Like, at the same time, it's done such a good job, and there's so much to that universe they can really tell a story about. But I agree with you, Sasha. They're just too lazy, and once the stories in the book fade out, then they're not going to continue it.
Yeah. I mean, they just have that kind of, like, past season 3, they just don't do it, which has got me worried for that kind of show, where it has to go on for more than, like, 5 seasons. And, like, it's got me worried about other shows that I like Lock and Key. I'm highly worried about the Avatar The Last Airbender show. I don't think that's going to end up being good. The One Piece and live-action show that they're making has also got me incredibly worried.
Well, you can also trace those problems back to Death Note. I believe we watched it together, actually, with one of the first days we were at our old apartment.
You watched the live action?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was okay.
It was a comedy horror thing. Like,
that's too bad, man. The original is so good.
I know. Yeah. And there's so many issues I have with it. And it's like, yeah, cool, Netflix is adapting these animes into live action stuff.
Yeah. It's just they're also so many asinine decisions.
But they're also losing like the actual good content. Because One Piece is on Hulu, right? Or is it on Amazon?
It's on Hulu. I think
you talking about the live action?
Also going to get the rights for the anime. Yeah, they're making a live action TV
Every
show.
Every time I see an anime turn into live action, I think that's a mistake.
Yeah. One of my favorite shows of all time is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh, yeah, they did a live action of that too,
and they did a live action of that, and I've just avoided that.
It's got to be a foreign success. It's got to be. There's no way they're advertising it to the U.S.
Yeah, right? I'm sure it goes big in Japan, those like live action anime.
Because I was on Crunchyroll. There's an actual live action Death Note series, like a full TV show. It's actually semi well done. But I'm thinking to myself, I would watch the anime over this. But it was so well done. I was thinking like, it's got to be catered towards an Eastern audience. There's no way that this would succeed in the United States.
But you also, in that catering and pandering, with what Netflix has done, they've adapted these animes for like Eastern audiences, right? Western audiences. But we don't want that. Both of us, Sasha and I, have said, right? Oh, wait. I forgot who said. But I'm pretty sure all of us here would prefer to watch the anime than whatever crappy live action they're going to do. So why not use the money and budget you're going to do to that to retain a great show like The Office, or to, I don't know, maybe further another season of Daybreak? Like,
or any other like Netflix original show that they like made, because a lot of them have like interesting concepts and like they're really good to watch. It's just they don't continue them.
Well, I'll tell you why The Office might be running out. I think there's a couple reasons behind that, right? Is like,
well, that's because of NBC Universal. They want to take it back because
Right.
they're making their own streaming service.
On Peacock.
And on top of that, they're gonna replace it with Seinfeld for like I can't remember the deal, but it was like a huge ass deal.
Yeah,
It's on Hulu right now, but I think they bought it for like 200 or 500 million, something crazy, something within that range for like 5 years to
I never
replace
really
The Office.
thought
once the
Seinfeld
contract
was that
out.
good.
What?
I agree with Sasha. I think
It's
like
just because
it's kinda
Jerry
overrated.
Seinfeld is just so annoying.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm assuming my grandfather is
Blasphemy.
turning over in his grave right now
I'm
when I
turning
say
over
I
right
don't
now.
like Seinfeld. But
Choking myself.
yeah,
in my
it's
cord.
I've watched a good part of that show. Same with Friends. I can
I'm
never
not
get into
Yeah,
those
it's like
shows.
those 90s and early 2000s comedy shows are just so shitty.
Yeah, but you can't compare Seinfeld to Friends. Friends was like the youth, early 2000s, growing up, people that didn't get into Seinfeld. It was replaced with Friends. Friends was like completely different. It was followed the same time slot.
Yeah, they're completely different, but I'm saying I don't like either.
I
Yeah.
never understood why Friends was like that huge, but I guess it was the right time, right place, good cast.
And it's funny though too, because like I've watched Cheers and I like Cheers, but I can't get into Seinfeld. And I know there's some time gap between those two, but it's like everyone has this like the shelf that Seinfeld sits at, and it's never reached that for me. It's been an okay show, but for everyone to quote it every single day, oh, it's like that Seinfeld episode where the guy was in the car and I was in a car too one time. It's like
I've literally
cool.
never heard anyone talk
Cool.
about Seinfeld in public.
Well, I think it's the same way for The Office, right? Like that's our Seinfeld. You know, like people quote The Office like the Bible nowadays.
I
Even
agree
The
with
Office
you
is
on
kind
that.
of boring, like half the show.
Like first of all, they're both NBC productions, right? And they were both sitting
Yeah.
on top of the ratings when they were both out. So it's like easy to see this generational. But that's neither here nor there. It's unfortunate The Office is going to be moved. So you have like what do we have left on that contract? Like a year to watch it?
yeah,
it's
pretty much.
June when Peacock comes out, I think.
I don't know. It
This
goes a
year?
bit longer than that, the deal. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Peacock
thought the deal was
comes
like
out June,
2020
but-
or something like that.
Office is
actually-
still on Netflix for a little bit longer, I think.
So I actually really like the way that Peacock seems to be structured. I could be completely wrong with this. Is what how it's going to finally roll out.
You can pay for an ad-free version, or you can watch it with ads. which
Really?
I think
completely
that's
fine with.
great. I think
for
that's
free.
great. I think that's a great way to have a streaming service.
That's how
They're
Crunchyroll does it.
discussing doing that for HBO Max as well. So
Okay,
that
that's
would be
awesome
pretty
too.
cool.
Yeah. But back to The Office right now. I would hate to see that go. Although I can watch it free on Peacock, but that is my background audio. It was a great show the first 4 times I watched it,
Whoa.
and now it's still a great show, but it's background noise, and when I know a funny scene's gonna come up, I'll watch it, but again, Sasha, you're right. It's not funny all the time, so it's great to know that, oh, this part's stupid.
Speaking of
you
new
know.
content, though, if The Office is getting too old, aren't they coming out with Space Force as a Netflix show?
Yeah, I saw the
So
trailer
bad.
for that. It looks horrible.
And then
Which is
another
like so going back to like why Netflix sucks. That's a huge problem. Is like also half of their Netflix originals are amazing, and they're not continued. While they also have incredibly bad Netflix original shows that are just constantly continued. Like for me, I thought Tiger King documentary absolutely sucked. It was horrible.
As
They
a
didn't really
documentary?
get to didn't really get to like the core of like who Joe Exotic was and get to everything about his life. They're making a season 2 for it. I didn't really see a point of it.
I think
Yeah.
season 2 is stupid. I really liked the Tiger King because of the environmental side, conservation side of me. I think it brought a great approach to the fact of why are these beasts in captivity? Like, and at the very end of the episode, there's a quote that a person said that I'm gonna completely butcher it, but he was basically saying it's like all the money that went into this legal battle between Joe Exotic and girl that killed her husband. If you just put a fraction of that into actual conservation programs, think of how much better off these tigers could be. They wouldn't be living as your zoo tigers, and that's what I enjoyed about it. But at the end of the day, like, do we really want to know more about Joe Exotic? No,
not really. We already learned enough.
You don't need to see a second season of that. And why back to Space Force? Why are we making Space Force when you could be making Daybreak season 2 or making
Daredevil season 4?
I'm picking up a bias.
Something more interesting.
Yeah,
we just want like good story-driven content instead of just like shows with really shitty effects and acting, which is like a vast majority of Netflix original shows and movies.
They would have to be like joint ventures or partnerships, because for one, we all know what happened to the original Marvel shows, right? Disney took it back.
Yeah, and
well, they were canceled originally by Netflix because of the whole 3 seasons thing.
Well, they have to put in production, right? If they know that they're just going to be stopped.
Yeah.
And I think that your concern about Avatar is a great concern.
I'm definitely concerned about that, yeah.
First of all, you're adapting one of the best children's shows / animes. Is it even an anime? I don't know if it's an anime.
No, it's cartoon.
But cartoons of all time into live action. Good news, you got your original show creator back. So that's the silver lining here. But even if it does pay off,
was it worth it?
Are they gonna continue it for another 2 seasons?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It is a 3-season show, so you could theoretically
Netflix has gone on record saying they don't see point in doing 3rd season for most shows.
So you could say that the 3rd season is gonna be your last season. Because it's a 3-season show, you can easily adopt.
Is it 3 or 4?
To be a 3. It's 3.
Okay.
Well, when you translate to live action, it's a lot more difficult to do than animation. So, in my opinion, when they do it like that, you have to like make one season basically just half of what the regular season used to be. You know.
I also think though
half
that
of book 1 would be a live action season.
You can cut a couple of the things from.
Yeah, they can easily cut some filler, but point
also
of live
at the
action
end
is
of the
to
day,
see this world in live action.
And at the end of the day, too, one of my favorite parts about that show was the filler episodes were great at like giving character delving into a character that might not be the forefront of the show. So you really actually at the end of the series feel sorry for Azula or like sympathize with Zuko. Zuko has one of the best story arcs of all time, and you really get that story arc from those subtle episodes, the filler episodes where you get to see the pain and all those other things that go into his emotions. And cut that though, you're gonna get a half-assed show that might go on for 3 seasons, but it's gonna be watered down version of what it was, and probably prematurely end.
Yeah, I think the way I see it is like it's got to be at least 10 times better than the M. Night Shyamalan movie, because
at least, yeah,
it's got. First of all, if you go back and watch that movie, like
10 times of 0 is still 0.
It's true. But like this, just the speed of the choreography itself. Like, I don't know who was choreographing that stuff, but like, make things a little quicker, please. I could have just run up to any of those guys and punched them. Everyone was moving so slow. I don't know if it's because the effects team was like on a budget or something, but like it needs to be done well. I don't care if the effects are minimal. Like everything needs to be done. You know, if I can tell that you're cutting budget, but like the fighting was hand to hand, and like you can kind of tell like it's air bending, or you can kind of tell that it's water bending. It's that's fine. It's whatever. It's got to be done well.
Such an effects heavy show too.
I know.
So that's another thing that's a reason to be scared. That it's probably
Netflix doesn't do good effects.
Like Stranger Things season 3, I love the season. Favorite season. but the effects got worse and worse, in my opinion, since season 1.
Yeah.
Season 1 was actually live action, or not live action, but the Demogorgon
the whole
was a
other season
was a
live action.
guy in a suit.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was
That's cool.
practical.
That's the word.
Yeah, I guess that kind of highlights our feelings about Netflix. Our kind of like complaints.
I feel like they're also like. I mean, according with what you guys said, subscriptions are increasing. Companies are taking back their stuff, so they're just trying to find a way to compensate because they only have the rights to this stuff for so long. So they're trying to make originals.
I'll admit, like the other streaming subscription services, they've definitely got me more interested than Netflix has. The only thing that's really keeping me interested in Netflix currently is The Witcher. What's it called? The Avatar: Last Airbender and One Piece. I'm just more interested in those, and obviously, I can always just rewatch Community on there. It's my favorite show of all time. So,
and it's also one of those things too of Avatar and One Piece you haven't seen yet, so you could almost.
So I'm still worried.
Yeah, you could almost be like in the future, you could go back on this and be like, why was I even excited for those shows? I was excited for one show really, which is Witcher, because we've seen Witcher and Witcher is phenomenal.
Yeah. But moving on. So last podcast we had talked about the Assassin's Creed Valhalla announcement, and they've announced a bit more, and they also showed some gameplay.
Well,
although the gameplay wasn't really gameplay, it was just in-game engine stuff.
We talk about that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I saw some of the trailers. That's exactly what they were, by the way. They were gameplay-inspired trailers.
Yeah, it's just in-game engine. That's all you have to say.
Yeah.
They're showing environments and probably cutscenes.
I think it was poor marketing. They should have led with something else. Otherwise, they should have told them off the bat that this is just going to be some of the games.
Well, Sasha also brought up the fact that it was poor marketing last time, just in the announcement of it.
Yeah.
With the live action. The big thing that struck me was the fact that they said it would be 30 FPS on Xbox X.
Really?
And yeah, its minimum is going to be 30 FPS, and the Series X is a pretty capable machine. It's supposed to do 4K with 60 FPS. So what is this game actually doing that it can't play 4K at 60 FPS?
It's got to be viewed.
It's got to play at 30 FPS. Well, they claimed that they wanted to create the most beautiful environments for the players to be in.
It's got to be viewed since they want you to see all those textures.
There's probably going to be a fog of war effect. It looked like it was very misty and stuff. So
really?
It looked like that's how they kind of were getting around with
some Death Stranding stuff.
That might be it, but they also have a weather system, because I've been playing Assassin's Creed Origins since the last podcast. There is a weather system, so that might also just be that. Because I know sandstorms will just pop up randomly sometimes in this game. So it might be like that with rain or fog in this game.
Did you guys see the tech demo on the other end for PlayStation?
No, I haven't watched it yet. I was going to watch it after this podcast. I heard it looked amazing though.
It's definitely interesting. So it's a triangle format, right? And they have cinematic versus CG or something like. Oh, technically it's all computer generated, but I don't know. The textures are just super, super, super nice, and that's what they were showing.
I think the thing that I'm really excited for with the PS5, there's a demo. This was before this demo you're speaking of. I haven't seen it yet. They did Spider-Man PS4, and they put it on a PS5 architecture.
Yeah.
And its load time, it instantaneously loads, and it was insane.
The power of an SSD.
Yeah. I'm excited for PS5. The controller is the sexiest controller I've ever seen. It looks like Tesla made a controller, and we all know that whenever I see a Tesla, I am immediately hard, and nothing can.
Interesting.
I mean, first of all, I agree with you, But it's still controversial. Some people
About
really
being
don't
hard
like.
when you see it.
No, well, yeah.
Okay.
I think the controller aesthetic itself is I like it. I like futuristic looking stuff, and I hope the PS5 at least matches it or parallels with it.
It's a controller. Who cares? You're not looking at the controller when you play. You're looking at the TV screen when you play.
That's true. But my PlayStation's always hidden away, and I do see my controller, and I do want it to look at least somewhat decent, especially for like new equipment, right? Like, because we haven't even seen the PlayStation, because first of all, the details on systems are getting weird, and all we have to go on is like
Xbox. PlayStation has been horrible about their marketing,
which is weird, right? So to combine these two, Xbox has been doing great until like this gameplay thing, and then PlayStation is like slowly building off what is a really slow train because they've been super successful. But I want to see how this all goes.
It's like people are interested in seeing it, but I've also seen a lot like interest dying down because they've taken way too long to announce it.
But
like,
also,
Microsoft announced theirs literally in January. We're coming up on June soon.
Yeah.
PS5 still hasn't been shown or anything.
Well, go ahead.
We talked about this last podcast though, but who's gonna buy a next gen console right now?
Yeah. So
is it failed
I
advertising?
There's
or were they planning to? Because when was Sony's gameplay thing? Were they planning to announce it then, and then coronavirus hit?
I don't know. I don't know how much the coronavirus has affected this. I highly doubt it's really affected it much, just because even before it hit, like when it really hit in March, there was a lot of like silence from Sony still in like January and February in response to Microsoft.
I think they're just focusing on the first party games.
Yeah, I think they're just doing that, and it's kind of backfired on them marketing wise because no one's really interested in PlayStation 5 at the moment because of this pandemic. No one wants to buy it.
And PS4 is still a great console.
Yeah.
Did you see the Eddie Burback video of the Microsoft lied to us? Because that also goes into great detail on PlayStation's rise and actually focusing on those third-party games. So I would check that out if you want to learn more and not listen to us ramble.
The console was listed at $550, by the way.
It hasn't been announced yet, the price.
The labor and parts that have been. It was an article that investigated
but the actual price hasn't been announced.
No.
Yeah. So getting back to like the Assassin's Creed Valhalla, just a quick update I just wanted to give. So they announced a lot of things gameplay-wise. The social stealth I'd said before is back. There are also going to be like two-handed weapons, like you can dual wield, and new weapon combinations. You can customize your character, your settlement, and also mercenary followers, which reminds me of Brotherhood. And it focuses a lot more on parkour and environmental puzzles again.
Oh, cool.
While keeping the RPG element that they brought with Origins Odyssey. And you can also like equip armor just like in Odyssey. Open world just like Origins and Odyssey. But it's going to be a little bit smaller, but way more focused and a lot more content in it than those past two games.
I heard that.
I think it's very interesting. They're like mixing the RPG elements a lot more with older Assassin's Creed games, which I think is the perfect way to go about it.
I heard that there's a first-person story part too.
If there is, I'm skipping that.
Oh, you didn't like that from Black Flag?
Nope. Every modern day story since after Assassin's Creed 3 has been awful. Like I said, I'm playing Origins currently. It's the worst one.
Creed. That's the worst part about Assassin's Creed. I hate the fact that they're
I mean, you can tell they used to care about it before, when it was back during Desmond Miles. It was actually interesting, and you could tell they at least cared.
Look,
but then they took the criticism the wrong way and just got rid of it and made it worse for some reason.
I love Black Flag, and I can't stand it in Black Flag.
Really?
Yeah.
I share the opposite opinion. I hated the Desmond Miles.
Think of it this way. You play these games to play as this badass assassin in a historical setting and explore that. You don't want to be some office worker playing around on their tablet when you can just do that at work. Like, what? I don't want to be working when I'm at home playing my game. That's stupid.
Well, I guess the way you could do is they could speed up the movement in first-person mode, and then you don't have to, like...
They can just get rid of it.
It's literally like they're making you. Like, you're in your office playing this game where you can explore your historical areas
You can, but you can
as
also
an
skip all that
assassin.
stuff.
But now you also have to play as yourself, playing as your character.
Yeah.
So,
and it throws off the
it's-
pacing of the story so much too.
I'm on Sasha's side 100% on this. I hate that part.
I don't know about the
Yeah.
pacing, but it is parallel with the plot. I mean, they're describing the ancestor.
Yeah, except
But,
literally
okay,
nothing
is-
happens modern day.
So
like,
if
we're
it's parallel
still-
with the plot,
Go ahead.
why do you need it?
Well, I suppose because
You
it
can
started with
easily
Desmond
tell the
Miles,
Assassins
and
versus Templar story in the past.
they're just
You
trying
don't really need to do it present day because nothing changes present day with it.
Well, I think what they're trying to show is that there's two overarching plot lines. There's a present one and a past one. So they're using the machine to go to the past one, and they're trying to remind you that there's a present one. I remind you that the present ones, they only took about an hour or two to complete in total.
Yeah, they're pretty half-assed.
I think what they're doing is they're reminding you that you're lazy and could be playing this game at work, like that your person is in the game.
But I would also argue if you played 1 through 3, there was a lot of boring stuff that you had to repeatedly do like over and over again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it was boring, but at least the story for that was interesting.
Right, but you had
Now
to
it's
get
just
to
the
story
same
parts.
repetitive bullshit again.
Yeah, but you have to
And
get
you-
to the story
Like, they're
parts.
literally redoing that story from Desmond. Like, the end of the world is coming or whatever, but somehow worse.
I don't like them.
Yeah, it's just bad.
All right.
Speaking
Agree,
of bad,
disagree.
this podcast is bad. Thanks for listening.
Da, 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 da.
Is that the Gus and Eddie outro?
That's the outro music, guys. Get the hell out of here.
Anyway, before we leave,
Da, 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 da.
can I plug something before we
Go ahead.
leave?
If it's your
We do
Instagram,
have a
that's right.
subreddit. I think it's called Royal Animal. Post memes there so we can talk about that.
Mhm.
Or something. Just post, like, again.
If
your,
you actually
mother's-
listen this far,
your
go onto the
mother's maiden
subreddit
name.
and tell us.
Yeah, your mother's
Or
maiden
comment
name,
on the video.
your childhood, middle school / elementary.
Sasha, you're posting
Um,
this on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Just put the
I
link.
don't know if Steven, did you ever figure out a name for your lone wolf? Lone wolf is actually kind of cool, but
Oh, I'm sticking with Slade.
Slade.
Yeah.
All right. Nice. So you're Slade. I'm Captain Firefox. I'm going to probably create my own YouTube channel, making more content in the stupid games I like, such as Kerbal Space Program, Planet Coaster / Zoo,
I like it.
and some other random like RPG games. Sasha's Badger King. I don't know if you want to do anything about that name, but you can find me under my name as Captain Firefox with a 3 as the E. Other than that, everything that we do together will definitely be here on this channel, so keep coming back to this channel. And we also will post gameplay between all three of us. It might just be a couple of us at a time, but we'll be on here. And we appreciate everyone watching our stuff this far, and go find something better to do, because why are you listening this far in?
Makes sense.
Alright, guys. Goodbye.
See ya.
And I have to go pee, so goodbye.
Do that.